I love Passover and I can't wait for Passover to begin. I love it in part that it's a holiday of contradictions, that it's lechemoni, that the matzah is supposed to be the bread of affliction, labeled the bread of affliction. And it's also the bread of our freedom. It's what we ate when we went free from enslavement. And that's symbolized in that moment at the beginning of the Seder, Yachat, to break the middle matzah in half. And that brokenness is part of the story, right? That we recount something that's a negative experience. And normally, you don't necessarily want to dredge up negative experiences, but we do it in such a way as to create a sense of celebration as well. It's truth, just like the matzah is the bread of affliction and the bread of freedom. The same thing with Passover. It's when we remember bad things and also celebrate Zman Cherutenu, the time of our freedom. There are lots of contradictions in Passover. It's part of why it's a good night for questions. This year especially, I have to say, I've been thinking about the deaths of innocent Egyptians, right? Like that's part of the story, is that the firstborn died, from the firstborn of Pharaoh to the firstborn of the slave woman. Those without power in society, what did they do wrong that they would die as well? And one of my colleagues gave a great Devar Torah that maybe Moses, in the end, doesn't get into the land because Moshe didn't protest when God said, I'm going to strike down all the firstborn. That, like Abraham at Sodom and Amorah, famously argues with God, are you going to kill the innocent along with the guilty? Maybe Moshe was supposed to do the same. And the fact that Moshe didn't is what keeps him out of the land. And I think that's a great drash. It's not the shot. It's not the basic sense of the verse, but it's a great one. And maybe worth bringing up at your Seder. And it's political. And I don't know that's where I'm at this year. Because maybe, part of the fact that innocents die in the going up out of Egypt, we lessen our joy because of it. We acknowledge the fact that others suffered, is the realization that this world isn't clean. Even in a story where God is doing the rescuing, in this world, you can't do anything that is perfect. And if you demand something that is perfect, you will get nothing. And we should uncomfortably sit with the fact that innocents die in order for good things to happen. It's true in every war. It's true in World War II. And it is certainly true in the Gaza war. And we should not lose heart. Part of the Passover story is that the difficulties of yesterday don't have to be the difficulties of tomorrow, and that we can move to a better place. So have questions at your Seder. Discuss things. Don't let anyone, go way out of control. I think it's important that we remember this is a day when we remember the Jewish people come together and are collectively liberated, and to end it with a joyous next year in Jerusalem. And, it's a holiday. We should celebrate it. Shabbat Shalom.